Hello people, and this is Maskutti from the Hitfilm forums, and I'd like to show you a nice tutorial about color grading in Hitfilm. I'm talking about a pretty bit more advanced than just basic color wheels technique. So, if you don't know how to use Hitfilm, I recommend you to check out some basic tutorials and come back when you know the basic stuff. So, let's see. Let's import some footage. I got this picture of my father sleeping. Make that a comp shot and duplicate a few times, 4 times the same footage. And this is because of a trick I'm going to show you now. What I'm talking about is a selective color correction. You might have seen that in some other applications, but in Hitfilm one trick is to use it like this. What usually color grading is that you want to choose a part of the image like the skin tones here and affect them, color grade them, but leaving the other parts of the image untouched. And this is what I'm going to do. So let's do and use the chroma key and choose the skin tones, and it's removing pretty nicely, but let's adjust so that it'll only remove the skin and stay keeping other stuff untouched. Let's see. Let's reduce again a bit and about like this. You see the noise in the picture. It comes from the camera, and it's pretty fatal for this kind of grading. So let's use a softness to soften out the bad noise. One other thing is the spill suppression. It affects our colors and we don't want to do that, so let's leave that at 0. So now you see we're having a complete picture in 2 layers. So let's rename the layers. This is like a room and bed. The second one will be the skin tones. And you can use whatever color grading tools you want, but I'm just going to use a tint because it's often a goal for skin tones so that they look like the same hue range. So this will do pretty nicely. You see, it's already affecting the colors and the skin pretty nicely and powerfully, but it's a bit waxy kind of color. And I noticed that if you reduce the tint a bit, then increase contrast and maybe a bit brightness, like this, it's pretty nice. It looks colorful and strong somehow. Well, and then there's still one thing, and it's the beard and the hair. They look like gray because the original footage is pretty flat, shot in really flat color profile. So we can do a different thing to the beard. Let's call the layer beard and use a luminance key for it. And with this we key out the brighter areas because the beard is darker than other parts of the image, pretty much. So let's adjust something like this, and it's pretty nice to use a crushed blacks and whites alpha. What this does, you can select the range of the alpha channel that will be fully opaque and what's transparent, so you can kind of limit, compress the range, so you end up having the whole beard and the hair in fully opaque in this layer. Let's adjust still slightly. It might be a bit too harsh, this crushing. Let's see how it looks now. Yeah, it's again, it might be pretty nice. Let's add a tint to it too, and the same orangey color. It's looking pretty nice, I think. There's some still gray stuff going on, but it's not looking too bad at all at the moment. It's always good to have one original clip on the bottom if there are lots of keying happening, because it might happen to you that all the layers bleed out the keying, and if there's nothing on the bottom, you end up having black spots in your image. This will remove them. It's pretty nice to use. Simple trick. Okay, but otherwise it's pretty nicely done. We can add main grade on top of that. Let's use a basic sign style. It's a pretty nice effect. Let's remove grain and vignette. We don't need them at all. And color S curve, we can bring pretty high value to it, and maybe just a little of the color adjustment to give it a slightly tail shadows. This is pretty nice. And how would this look like without our nice keying tricks? Well, let's use the original and for example take the skin tones, layer, copy the tint and brightness. It would look like this. It's pretty flat. I don't like it at all because, well, everything's yellow. But this, it's really contrasty, colorful, and gives you the control of your image. And in the end, I'd like to say about the workflow that it's really nice in Hitfilm for one reason. You can control every aspect simultaneously and without re-rendering everything. So you can just do your effects, do your comp shots, and then grade everything on top of that. And if you see that there's some effect that you need to change, you can just go back into the comp layer and change it, and everything's going smoothly until you're finished. So that's a huge advantage when doing stuff and you need to be efficient and well keep your hair from splitting. Alright, but this was my trick. I hope you enjoyed and well understood what I said, and I hope you find some help from this tutorial. Okay, thanks, and see you sometimes, maybe.